Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're here at Cardiff Football Ground. Delighted to be joined by a boxer promoter, Mr. Ben Shalom. How are you? How are you finding Cardiff?
Yeah, very good. Good to be back. Obviously, the last time we were here was Liam Williams, so that was a long time ago. But I always remember the atmosphere that night, and it's definitely different in Wales. There's a different emotion. It's definitely more emotional, and they get behind their own like no other. And when we signed Lauren, this was the plan. This was the dream. To do it in a seventh fight is pretty special, but great to be here, and it just feels like everyone in Cardiff knows what's happening on Saturday night.
Before we talk about Lauren and the main event, how important is it to grow the young talent up here? Because I was speaking to Enzo McManelli earlier. There's some fantastic young talent. There's some good ticket sellers on the card on Saturday.
Yeah, there is. Look, we could have filled the card like 4 or 5 times over. And when we started, obviously, regional boxing and grassroots boxing is so important. People forget how big this sport is, and it's very easy to like overlook the localities that you go into. And it could have been very easy for us to come here and just put our usual kids on, or usual fighters on, but we made a conscious effort to try and give 4 or 5 or 6 guys a real opportunity, a real chance to impress in their hometown. Welsh boxing doesn't get a lot of love, despite the talent coming through. There's not many shows here. Obviously, Joe Cordine has done fantastically well, but you have to really go back to Joe Calzaghe for a real star that consistently sold out arenas. And I think Lauren's very passionate about it, and so it was part of her. She wants to give back as well. You know, not only has she represented the country here and done so much for the country, but she's worked here her whole life. She's never left. She still lives here, and it should be a very special night of Welsh boxing. And as you said, great to see some young, new talent coming through.
I just spoke to Jessica McCaskill. She's extremely confident. Could it be too early for Lauren Price?
Definitely. Look, it's hard because in normal circumstances we wouldn't take this fight. I have to be honest, after 7 fights, to take on someone that's never lost in this division, never lost, her 11th world title fight. I think you look back to the Chantel Cameron defeat and you see what Chantel's gone on to do. Shows that level, and obviously in a weight division that you know she prefers to now be a welterweight. So it's a very tough test. It's a 50-50 fight. We don't know. You know, Lauren hasn't fought at this level before. Jessica's been here, done it so many times. But I think the attraction of fighting in Cardiff, being able to fight a name like Jessica McCaskill, it was just too much to turn down. As a promoter, it's too much to turn down. As a fighter in Lauren, it was too much to turn down. It's a huge opportunity. And to be honest, she's broken that many records throughout her life. It's almost like remarkable the way she just goes through sports and the way she achieves things. Became Wales the first Welsh boxer to win a gold medal, become an MBE had an MBE before she even turned over. It's almost part of the script now for Lauren, so she needs to do something that no one else has done before, and that's what Saturday night's about. I mean, you think Lomachenko was mentioned up here, he probably took his test, well he did, slightly too early, but look at the career he went on to have. It's going to be a massive night on Saturday. It's on BBC Wales. It almost takes you back to the Freeview days. Every home in Wales will be seeing this on BBC, and it's a special moment, and you can feel it here and you can see it in the turnout.
Lou Edon's on the card. I just spoke to him. He said everyone wanted the Ben Whittaker fight, apart from Ben Whittaker himself. That includes yourself, and that includes Sky. Was the fight close to happening with Ben Whittaker?
Look, to be honest, I have to say, everyone wants to fight Ben Whittaker in that division. And so Louis, of course, wanted to fight Ben Whittaker, but that fight might happen down the line, as the Dan Aziz fight might happen down the line. And there's that light heavyweight division, when you look across it, it's nice to see Louis coming through. I'm very fond of Louis as well. And he's developing his own career. Ben's developing his own. Will the fight happen down the line? Possibly. But everyone's calls out Ben Whittaker. He is the money fight in the division already after 7 or 8 fights. So I think we might see it down the line.
I know early last week Frank Smith said it could be Ben Whittaker's last fight on the Boxer deal. So will the African King be Ben Whittaker's final fight on a Boxer card?
I think I've already answered that. I just don't know where that's come from.
Okay.
It's completely untrue.
We'll move on then swiftly from that. Let's talk about Ben Whittaker. He will be fighting the African King on the 15th of June, Selhurst Park. See the face-off on the pitch. It's all kind of seeming a bit real now, speaking to some of your PR guys. There's big plans for this 15th of June card, isn't there?
There is. There's still a couple of big fights to announce, but yeah, the way it's selling is incredible. I think it's good to get another stadium show for British boxing as well. And Ben's a big part of that. Obviously, Richard gets his dream. Chris Smith got his dream 12 months ago in his stadium. So, yeah, it's a special night. It really will. Steve Parish is planning a lot from a music and entertainment. We've got both fans, Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, coming up. Dan Aziz was added to the card this week, so great to see him back. When we talk about the light heavyweight division, still feel that he has a big say in that. So yeah, it's a huge card. A couple more to be announced, and for me, the British boxing event of the summer.
Was Joshua Buatsi contacted to be a replacement for Artur Beterbiev?
I did send a message. I reached out to George. We were ready. Josh was ready.
You had that conversation with JB then, yeah?
I reached out to George and said, look, we're ready to go. Obviously, it's not happened. For me, it was the obvious fight. But, you know, Josh is number one in 3 weight divisions, 3 governing bodies. He'll get his chance. And, yeah, I think he's ready to go.
Chris Eubank Jr. is now a promotional free agent. Are you looking to do anything with him? We know his last 2 fights were on Sky Sports pay-per-view. He's a big star in the UK and surely someone you'd love to showcase again.
Yeah, we worked with him 4 times. The numbers he does are undeniable. Probably in the outside of AJ and Fury, he's really up there. In British boxing, there's not many that can turn the dial. Obviously, we're now seeing Ben Whittaker, but Eubank Jr. has got that, and we've seen it 4 times. Every promoter will want him. Every broadcaster will want him. He's in high demand. He's one of those few fighters that, as I say, can move the dial. And we'll see, but I want to see him in the big fights, if I'm honest. Chris Eubank Jr. for me is a fabulous fighter. He showed that against Liam Smith the second time round. He seemed to have got everything together with Brian McIntyre and that whole team. So I just want to see him active, and I want to see him take on the very best, because he's probably got 2 to 3 more years at the very top, and I think he wants to become a world champion.
Just last one, I saw Fabio Wardley walking across the pitch at Ipswich when they got promoted. The nose isn't quite fully healed yet, but it's certainly on the way. Is there any kind of update to that Fraser-Clarke rematch?
The talks are happening earlier than I thought. I thought they would need more time. Talks are happening. It's probably the biggest fight for both of them. Fraser does have, well, I'm sure Fabio's looking at it, but...
Is that a pay-per-view now?
We've got a couple of other options as well for Fraser. We're not even at that stage.
Okay, fair enough.
All I know is it's the biggest fight for them both. Yeah. The fight will happen at some point again. It's a huge fight. Whether it's next, we'll see. But I can confirm, obviously, talks have started, and both fighters want the fight because it's probably the biggest money one right now for both of them.
Excellent. Ben Shalom, thank you very much for being to IFLTV. Tune in Saturday night, Sky Sports, Jessica McCaskill versus Lauren Price. Cheers, mate.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.